Hello, everyone. We'll be starting shortly, just waiting for some last-minute arrivals. All right, let's get started. A few little logistics before our presenter comes on. This will be about a 30 to 35-minute presentation, and afterwards we will hold a question and answer session with the presenter. Please feel free to put in any of your questions during the presentation, so while they're fresh in your mind. That way, you don't forget them, or we don't cover something later on. It gets covered through your questions. We won't address any of the questions until after the presentation, but feel free to submit them anytime. Our presenter today is Lisa Schiller. She's the Director of Investigations at Media Relations at the Better Business Bureau, Serving Wisconsin. Lisa's been with the BBB Serving Wisconsin for 9 years, and previous to that, she spent 9 years on TV or working in TV, and then 9 years before that, she was at the BBB. So this is her second round with us. Lisa, I will let you take over, and any questions, remember to submit and we'll answer at the end.
Thanks, Julie. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. As you know, we are navigating through uncharted waters, an unprecedented time with information changing rapidly and growing daily. I'm sure you feel the same way. It's hard to keep up. The BBB Serving Wisconsin has put together some information that we hope you will find helpful. Unfortunately, scammers are taking this opportunity to take advantage of a panicked public. These scams pose a significant risk to people, and we know that they derive from two key ingredients that con artists love: fear and confusion. Our goal today is to let you know of scams that are circulating right now. We want you to stay aware, be vigilant, and share this information with your friends and family. The more people that can be reached, the more people that will keep their personal information and their money safeguarded. Let's start with government relief check scams. The proposed stimulus package announced this week includes sending Americans a check to offset lost income from the coronavirus crisis. As you can imagine, scammers see a lot of opportunity to take advantage of this and turn it into scams that they can profit from. There are already a couple variations of this scam circulating. Let me describe a few. In the first, you receive a message or see a social media post claiming that you qualify for a special COVID-19 government grant. With all the news stories about the proposed stimulus plan, you figure it must be true. So you click on the link and are taken to what seems to be an official website asking you to enter your personal information and or banking details. They say it's quote unquote necessary to verify your identity and process your grant. Don't fall for it. In other versions of this con, scammers contact you via text message, social media posts, and phone calls. One Facebook scam involves a post telling seniors about a special grant to help them pay medical bills. The link leads to a website claiming to be a government agency called the U.S. Emergency Grants Federation. Sounds official, right? Wrong. It's phony. The site requests your social security number under the guise of needing to verify your eligibility. In other versions, scammers claim you can get additional money, up to $150,000 in one case, or even receive your funds immediately. All you need to do is share personal details and pay a small processing fee. It's all a scam. No matter what the message, do not click on any links or open any attachments. In addition to taking your money, these sites can also download malware to your device and use your information for identity theft. Here are some things to know about the stimulus check. One, you don't need to do anything. The federal government has the information it needs to send you your money. Second, you do not need to give your personal information to anyone, nor do you need to sign up for your relief check. Next, although the timeline for this process is not exact, it looks like funds will start going in the next couple of weeks. Scammers will be using this lack of detail to try to trick you into giving out your personal information and money. Seniors are especially vulnerable to these kinds of scams. It's important during this time to check on elderly neighbors and others who may need help to be sure they are made aware of the most recent scams relevant to the coronavirus crisis. Because this is so important, let's go over the BBB's tips regarding stimulus checks. First, no payment or personal information is required to receive a recovery check. The IRS has your tax information and will mail the check directly to you or use the direct deposit information they have already on file from your tax return. Two, if you receive Social Security and typically do not file a tax return, you will no longer need to file a simple tax return or any other paperwork to receive the stimulus. You will automatically get the payment. You can visit irs.gov/coronavirus for more information. Third, the IRS will use your tax return for your address and to calculate and send payments. If you filed in 2019, that information will be used. If you have not filed your 2019 return yet, 2018 filing information will be used. Next, no one will call or email you from the government regarding your check. If you get a text, phone call, or email asking you for personal information, do not respond. Be sure you are eligible. Tax filers who have adjusted gross income levels of $75,000 for individuals and $150,000 for couples will receive full payment. Payment is reduced by $5 for each $100 above that threshold. Individuals with income above $99,000 or couples above $198,000 with no children are not eligible. Last, reach out. If anyone contacts you to get your personal information and then tries to keep you on the phone or rush you into making a decision, hang up. Turn around and ask someone that you trust, like a family member or financial advisor, for advice. Also targeting seniors at this time is the grandparent scam. We all are aware that for more than a decade now, scammers have been victimizing seniors with phone calls claiming to be their grandchild, hurt in an accident, out of state or out of the country, and in desperate need of money to be sent immediately via wire transfer. Our friends at the Federal Trade Commission recently began sharing that the grandparent scam has taken a new twist and a new sense of urgency in these days of coronavirus. Because of the current situation, they may use the pandemic to their advantage. Because of coronavirus, their lies can be particularly compelling. Avoid grandparent and emergency scams. If you get a call or message claiming to be a grandchild, other family member, or friend desperate for money, resist the urge to act immediately, no matter how dramatic the story is. Verify the caller's identity by asking questions that a stranger couldn't possibly answer. Check the story out with someone else in your family or circle of friends. Be prepared for the scammer to tell you to keep this a secret. Remember, never send cash, gift cards, or money transfers. Those are all untraceable methods of payment, which means when you pay by these means, consider your money gone forever. Now let's talk about price gouging. Since coronavirus came to light, it seems consumers have been finding the cost of high demand items such as hand sanitizers, bottled water, tissues, face masks, food supplies, and other products going up, some even skyrocketing. Price gouging is a term referring to when a seller spikes the prices of goods, services, or commodities to a level much higher than is considered reasonable or fair and is considered exploitative, potentially to an unethical extent. BBB warns that raising such prices by more than 15%, and if not passed on by the wholesaler, is illegal. It is also unethical and erodes marketplace trust, all the things that go against the BBB's standards of trust. Consumers will remember which businesses took advantage of them during a storm. Anyone who suspects price gouging during a declared state of emergency should report it to the Better Business Bureau by filing a complaint bbb.org. Be as specific about the transaction as possible by including the information detailing the spike in pricing, gather documentation supporting the price gouging, and include receipts and photos whenever possible. Next, did you get a text talking about a mandatory COVID-19 test? One of the most recent scams to be reported to BBB Scam Tracker are phony text messages claiming to be from a government agency. It looks like it comes from the US federal government and, in fact, sometimes even impersonates the Department of Health and Human Services. The message tells you that you must take a mandatory online COVID-19 test and even has a link to a website. Beware, there is no online test for coronavirus. BBB has also gotten reports of texts urging recipients to complete the census or fill out an online application in order to receive the stimulus check. BBB is here to tell you, no matter what the message says, don't click. These texts are phishing for personal information and can also download malware to your device, which opens you up for identity theft. Remember that government agencies do not communicate through text messages. Ignore any instructions to text stop or no to prevent future text messages. This is a common ploy by scammers to confirm that they have a real active phone number. Have you received an offer for a health product like a face mask? BBB has received numerous reports about scam websites claiming to sell face masks online. These phony online stores may look legitimate, but a closer look will show inflated prices, fake or no contact information, or a phone number that never leads to a live person. So check the URL information, and chances are these websites were just created. Sometimes ads will pop up on social media for these amazing products. Remember that scammers are also impersonating the World Health Organization, or WHO, the CDC, and others. Phony websites can easily steal addresses, logos, photos, and graphics of real companies or agencies. However, they almost always have red flags, capital letters where they shouldn't be, misspelled words, poor grammar, and paragraphs that just don't make sense. Online sellers will claim they have in-demand products like cleaning products, medical supplies, and health products, but they don't deliver. And now they have your money. Also, when dealing with online sales and websites, you'll want to be suspicious of testimonials, which are easily made up and are not a substitute for scientific evidence. Also, keep your eyes peeled for products that claim to offer a cure. It's important to remember that scammers can infect computers. Malware can be delivered in COVID-19 themed emails, and that malware actually installs viruses or steals personal information. It's really important that no matter how real the email might look, and no matter what it instructs you to do not click on any links or open attachments from unknown senders. Did you know that fake phone calls and phishing email reports are on the uptick? Phone calls are claiming to be from Medicaid or Medicare representatives asking for personal information, offering free COVID-19 tests, and asking for credit card numbers. These are all being reported currently to BBB Scam Tracker. Phishing emails are asking for charitable donations, financial relief, airline refunds, testing kits, and even products offering fake cures. Robocalls are pitching coronavirus treatments too. BBB's advice is don't answer phone calls from numbers you don't recognize. If you do answer, hang up right away and do not press any buttons. Report all such phone calls to the FTC's Do Not Call and the BBB Scam Tracker. On March 20th, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration put out a press release alerting the American public that the FDA has not authorized any test that is available to purchase for testing yourself at home for COVID-19. Businesses, schools, organizations, and individuals all over are using Zoom telework to communicate now. BBB warns video conference app users of recent Zoom bombing where hijackers infiltrate the Zoom session and offers the following information and tips to prevent video hijacking. How does Zoom bombing work exactly? Video hijacking attempts occur when conferences are hosted on public channels shared over the internet via URLs, making them accessible to anyone. Hijackers can sometimes guess the correct URL or meeting ID for a public Zoom session, giving them access to the feed. According to the FBI, there have been 2 incidents in Massachusetts of Zoom hijackings. One event occurred during an online class using the teleconferencing software Zoom. Unknown individuals dialed into the classroom, shouting profanity and the teacher's home address. The second video disturbance took place when a visible individual on the video camera began displaying swastika tattoos. Trent Lowe, a security professional and founder of SecKC, Kansas City's longest running monthly security meetup, tested and exposed Zoom security issues. He found that the only meetings that are protected from Zoom meeting ID auto dialers are the video conferences that have set a password. You can also enable embed password in meeting link for one-click join. This prevents an actor from accessing your meeting without losing the usability of sharing a link to join. For users organizing public group meetings, BBB strongly encourages hosts to review their settings and confirm that only they can share their screen. This will prevent any outside disruption from the main video feed on a public session. Users also need to be careful of cyber criminals impersonating video conferencing sites like Zoom with their goal of stealing your personal information. You can learn more about meeting settings and in-meeting actions that you can use to prevent Zoom bombing. For more information on teleworking, please visit bbb.org/smallbusiness. BBB advises businesses at this time to be aware of phony SBA scams. Small business owners are getting hit with a lot of information and making tough decisions on how to survive the COVID-19 crisis. With all of these messages flooding their inbox, social media, and phone, it's easy to mistake a scam for a real offer. This is how the scam works. An email, text, or caller ID appears to be from the U.S. Small Business Administration or an attorney representing the SBA. The SBA is offering grants just for small businesses affected by the coronavirus outbreak. The application looks simple and may involve completing a short form requesting banking and business information. After being approved, the business owner is asked to pay a processing fee up to a couple $1,000s. This is just one example of the type of scam going around. BBB.org/scam tracker has received several recent reports about a sophisticated new twist. After the government agency contacts business owners about the grant, a friend then reaches out through Facebook. This friend claims to have successfully received money from the exact same grant and wants you to know about the program. What a coincidence. Naturally, the friend is not really a friend, but a compromised Facebook account contacting all of your friends on Facebook. Here are some tips to spot a small business loan scam. First, look for a website that ends in .gov or .ca. Legitimate government entities will have websites and emails that end with .gov, such as www.sba.gov. Next, do a quick internet search for similar scams. Many government agencies helping small businesses are offering loans and other programs. Be sure to confirm that the offer is real before sharing personal or business information. Find the agency website through an online search. Never click on a link in an email. And be sure the program is on their website. Also, government agencies do not typically text or communicate through social media avenues such as Facebook, so be wary of unsolicited messages. Last, if you have to pay money to claim a free government grant, it's not really free. A real government agency will not ask you to pay an advance processing fee. Businesses typically don't receive government grants. In general, the federal government only offers grants to nonprofits, educational institutions, and state and local governments. You can learn more at sba.gov. No matter how convincing the idea sounds and how much your business could use free money, don't fall for it. If you receive an offer that appears to come from the SBA or another state or local government, small business agency, be sure to research it before sharing any personal information. Investment scams, sadly, typically involve a fraudster persuading a potential investor to part with his or her money for fictitious funds. They often focus on smaller private investors. Individuals are usually unaware that they are victims until months after they are first approached. This is because fraudsters give victims confidence by sending them a modest early return on their investment, assuring them that more returns will arrive later, maybe even in a couple years to come. When it comes to investment scams, keep in mind, legitimate investment companies do not cold call people. Don't assume it's real. Professional looking websites, advertisements, or social media posts don't always signify that an investment opportunity is genuine. Criminals can use the name of well-known brands to make their scams appear legitimate. Avoid uninvited investment offers, whether they're made on social media or over the phone. If you're thinking of making an investment, thoroughly research the company first and consider getting some independent advice. Do your homework. Be very suspicious of all offers that are too good to be true. There are no guaranteed get-rich schemes. If you think you may have fallen victim to an investment scam, do not be too embarrassed to report it. There is no shame to being deceived, and by reporting it, you can make it more difficult for them to scam others. Report all concerns to your financial planner, advisor, or pension provider. So many of us are working from home, and did you know that it automatically makes you more vulnerable to hackers and scammers? It sure does. As best as you can, you want to ensure security of company devices. Be sure to implement firewalls and security software. I don't know if I've said this before, but never click on any links or emails, even if they look legitimate. Be wary of all alerts that announce urgent, and very important, be suspicious of any email relating to your work responsibilities or asking you to provide information or be involved in a wire transfer. You could become the victim of a business email compromise or BEC scam. BEC scams are emails that purport to be from your CEO or boss and generally target those in a business that are authorized to make a payment. They ask you to provide information or send money via wire transfer. Is it really your boss? While it may appear to be, BBB strongly urges you to confirm that it is. Voice cloning software now makes it easy for scammers to impersonate your boss and even leave a voicemail which will instruct you to wire money or divulge personal information. Call your boss directly or email him or her in a separate email. Don't proceed until you verify the authenticity of the email and the sender. Here's a recent report to BBB Scam Tracker involving one of the many variations that the BEC can take. In Ohio, a small business owner reported that he received a call from someone claiming to be with the unemployment office and needing documents related to all their local employees who had filed for unemployment during COVID-19. The caller ID was from California, and luckily he smelled a rat and didn't provide any information. He instead reported it to the BBB. This definitely sounds like a variation of the BEC scam, and this could have very well ended badly. It's hard to imagine that scammers would try to take advantage of your hard-earned money through a fake charity or donation request, but they do. This is one of the lowest of the lows. Scam emails are trying to con people into donating to fake fundraisers. Watch for common-sounding names that scammers hope will trick you by sounding like the real thing. One example is an email that used the fake website cdc-gov.org when the real website is cdc.gov. You can see how confusing that can easily be. The Better Business Bureau has a charity arm called BBB Wise Giving Alliance and its own website that allows you to quickly check on charities at give.org. The Wise Giving Alliance suggests that donors consider giving to experienced relief organizations at this time, and that people verify any charity before making a donation. We expect fake charity scams and illegitimate GoFundMe requests to start popping up in the weeks ahead. Please take time to report these to our office so that we can investigate them and share the information with other appropriate agencies. Don't let anyone rush you into making decisions. If someone wants donations in cash, by gift card, or by wiring money, don't do it. As well, if they need your money today, they will need it just as well tomorrow. Don't ever feel pressured to give. Has an event you had plans to attend been canceled? Here are some BBB tips on what to do if an event is canceled. First, review the cancellation policy. Visit the venue's website or contact the business. Given the uncertainty of this situation, each vendor or host is more than likely to have their own policy in handling refunds and exchanges, or may offer a rescheduling option. Second, check with your credit card company. If you purchased tickets or made a reservation using a credit card and are being denied a refund from the vendor, contact the credit card company to dispute the charges. Next, check with the distributor of the tickets. For tickets or reservations that are purchased online, many refunds, according to the venue's policy, will be automatically processed to the same card that was used for purchase. You can check with the distributor to learn more. You'll also want to review any ticket insurance purchased. If you purchase ticket insurance, review the fine print to see what is and is not covered. Understand that the policy may not cover things such as a pandemic, and it may be outlined within the policy. The same advice also applies for travel insurance. Other advice includes contacting the vendor. Issues with items like airline tickets should be dealt with through the vendor where you made the original purchase. For example, if the ticket was purchased through Expedia, review and follow the cancellation policy on their website. And last, have patience. As this pandemic unfolds, it is difficult to tell how long it will continue and what the impact is going to be on everyone, from event planners and vendors to businesses and consumers. If it is difficult to get through to customer service for a business or a vendor, understand there are probably other people in your same situation. And keep in mind that the BBB is always here to help should you exhaust all your efforts. If you need to, file a complaint with the BBB and we will do our best to get some answers and a resolution for you. What we know so far is that coronavirus scams are preying on people and that scammers watch the news and follow the headlines. They are looking to make money off this global pandemic, and they will take this opportunity to take advantage of you. BBB says don't panic. We will get through this together. Now, as we bring the webinar to an end, on a positive note, let's talk about how we can support small businesses during coronavirus. We don't know how long COVID-19 with its shutdowns and social distancing will last, but we do know that small businesses need your support to make it through these uncertain times. Here are a few tips from the Better Business Bureau on how everyone can support small businesses, with or without spending money. Let's remember the businesses that are worried, suffering, and uncertain as to what the future looks like. Home improvement contractors, daycare providers, dry cleaners, car mechanics, your dentist or chiropractor, graphic designers who design your office brochures, or the accounting firm who does the books, hairdressers, and restaurants. The list goes on and on. Everyone is feeling the impact. Here are a few practical ways to support small businesses. Skip the refund and take a rain check. If you paid in advance for an event, such as theater tickets, a class, or a service, consider taking a credit for the future instead of asking for a refund. These businesses will appreciate not needing to issue so many refunds right now. Also, consider buying a gift card for later. Many small businesses are offering gift certificates, and some at discounted rates to use later. Also, commit to future work. While right now may not be the best time to start that home renovation project, your contractor will appreciate you committing to future projects when business opens back up. Shop local online. Local shops and vendors have had to close their physical doors, but many are still operating online. And last, get takeout or delivery. Many restaurants are now offering takeout as their dining rooms are closed. Support these local institutions by getting your food or drinks to go and enjoying it at home. As well, not everyone has the financial resources to pay in advance. So if your wallet is feeling the pinch, here are some ways to show your favorite small businesses that you support them. Write an online review. This is a good time to finally get around to reviewing your favorite local business. These 5-star reviews do help companies rank well in search engines and on other listing services. This is an easy, free way to show your favorite small businesses that you support them. Write a review at bbb.org. Second, like and share your favorite small businesses on social media. This shows that you support them and will help them reach future customers and gain more exposure. Last, tell your businesses that you appreciate their work. These are tough times. Keep morale up by reaching out to the businesses in your community and letting them know that you appreciate them. If you've spotted a scam, please report it to bbb.org/scam tracker. Whether you've been a victim or not, please take time to report it. Share your information. It helps others, and it also feels really good to vent. Please take note that these are only some of the many scams we are hearing about, and they are only beginning to surface. We, unfortunately, but realistically, expect more. We want you to stay updated and safe. We will be updating our information and continuing to send out press releases to keep you informed. Please visit BBB's coronavirus landing page often to learn more at bbb.org/council/coronavirus. You can also check our website for previous press releases. Just go to bbb.org and click on news. BBB is here to remind you that we are here for you. We are open for business, and although our staff is working from home, we are still available through email, phone, and live chat. We are continuing to accept, process, and mediate complaints, answer inquiries, send out press releases, investigate companies, do media interviews, and issue business reports, just as we always have. We are extending the complaint response time for all businesses, and we are working with each individual accredited business to evaluate its needs and how we can help during this time. BBB remains committed to assisting consumers in finding businesses, brands, and charities they can trust. Throughout the pandemic, BBB is open for business, and we are here for you. BBB Wisconsin graciously thanks our more than 6,500 accredited businesses throughout the state. Their support solely funds and supports us. Without them, we could not do what we do. To find out about a business accreditation, please contact our office. The next few slides will provide some resources and links, and if you'd like to type a question that you have into the box at right, we'll do our best to answer them.
If there's any questions at this time, feel free to type them in. Also, I want to remind everyone that we will be sharing this recorded webinar with all of you attending and those that did not attend, and we will have this up on our website for you to listen to later. So these links will be available later on. There's a lot of information on these last two slides, and you will all get it emailed to you in this recording. Looks like we don't have any questions. Here's one. What is BBB Serving Wisconsin currently working on in investigations regarding COVID right now?
Thanks, Julie, for that question. Thanks whoever typed it in as well. Actually, the Better Business Bureau Serving Wisconsin is currently working on a handful of investigations. They all seem to be surrounding online websites that have recently popped up offering face masks for sale. So consumers have let us know that they've found websites, they've purchased masks, and they have not yet received them. So as far as we can tell, none of the addresses that are being used in those websites that are listing an address seem to be valid addresses. So we're continuing to investigate. We will be getting custom text into those that don't currently have custom text in. kind of explaining what we found in our research and the results of our investigation. And we'll also be pursuing those through advertising reviews.
Any other questions we'll take? Otherwise, we do have, it looks like we have a thank you for these great resources and the amazing work that you and your organization is doing. Thank you, April. We appreciate it. John has noted to us that they've received fake calls from the National Police Association asking for donations. That is good to let everyone know. Thank you, John.
And John, thank you so much for letting us know that. That is something that we see on a regular basis reported to our BBB scam tracker. So please take time to report that. We do look into everything that we receive. And those are of particular interest to me.
And I'm just going to go back a slide per request. And again, everyone is getting this. John gave us the thumbs up. Thank you. And again, everyone will be receiving this recording with the links in it. If anyone needs me to go back to another slide, you can also type that into the chat question area, and I'm happy to go back. All right, well, it looks like we don't have any other questions. Jen has mentioned again that AARP is using legit emails. Lisa, have you seen anything regarding AARP and fraudulent emails at all?
I have not, but there are so many phishing emails that we have to just really be so careful. So if there's any links inside of an email, maybe hover over that link, see if it looks to be legitimate and authentic. Otherwise, I'm not aware of AARP sending out emails, but I do a weekly phone call with agencies, including AARP. So I'll be sure to mention that and see if I can verify if that's true. I'd be curious to know what their emails are in regard to. But, in today's world, we're also skeptical. It certainly, it could be true, but I guess just err on the side of caution.
April has also commented saying that she believes their scam tracker sends some emails. So AARP must have some kind of scam alert that sends emails. So that's good.
They do have a version of a scam website where they do take submissions as well. So I do know that to be true.
And I do have a request to go back to this page quick. For any of those unfamiliar with a scam tracker, Lisa, do you want to just reiterate how it all works, the heat map?
Sure. So BBB Scam Tracker is this fantastic online tool that you were looking at. And you can see that the circles with the numbers indicate the number of scam tracker submissions in those particular areas or regions. You can click on them with your mouse and actually zone in on a particular area in a particular neighborhood, all the way down to the zip code. So you can see what is being reported in your neighborhood or in any neighborhood. And you can also submit information, so you can become a part of the numbers that you see. We encourage people to report scams and frauds, whether or not you've been a victim. You can also report them on behalf of somebody. So say you have a grandparent or a neighbor that informed you that they received a phone call. They wrote down the number that the caller ID was showcasing, and the caller, it was a robocall maybe, indicating that there was a COVID-19 test available, or any type of robocall. You can enter that information on behalf of that other person as well. And when you enter the information, it's very quick and easy. You just follow the prompts once you click on submit a scam. And one of the questions at the end asks you if you're willing to talk to law enforcement or media about your experience. And this is really helpful for us because we want to help get the word out to others. So if robocalls are going around regarding, let's say, COVID-19 tests, and we start seeing an uptick in that, we want to get the word out to others. And the easiest way to do that is to contact our media partners and ask if they do a story. And one of the ways that helps them do a story is if they have a consumer that they can talk to about their direct experience. So keep in mind there is that box at the end of the submission form. You can click it and it says that you agree to talk to law enforcement or media, and law enforcement as well. We get calls and we work with law enforcement on a regular basis regarding investigations. And if you've clicked you're willing to talk to them about your experience, that very well helps them build a case.
Thank you, Lisa. And what you're seeing on your screen is just a screenshot of what it looks like. You can go to bbb.org/scam tracker to see the heat map in action. And you can look across the entire country or anywhere that we have a Better Business Bureau to see where those scams are located. So let's say you have a relative that lives in Colorado, you can go to that state. So it's not subject to just Wisconsin here. We have another question from John. How about churches using Zoom for their chat? Someone posing to be someone that attends, how can you tell if they're real? I'll go back to the slide with the Zoom information on.
So I would say that since this weekend, we are starting to hear of scammers infiltrating Zoom. And so as you can see, Zoomers are watching the news and they're always trying to stay one step ahead of us. So, this is not the only scam that we are seeing or we're going to see surface. And what I'm hearing is that the best way to avoid scams involving the use of Zoom is to create a password. So whoever the host of that Zoom session is should create a password and then send it individually to all of the participants. And then by using that password, only they are able to get into the session. And hopefully, that will eliminate or at least reduce the amount of scammers being able to infiltrate Zoom.
John, I would recommend sending this information and kind of the awareness to embed a password to your church or whoever you know is using Zoom. So it's really, really good to share that with them. Thank you for the question. Another question is regarding job search engines that are legit versus some taking personal information. Lisa, I know we didn't talk about this in our webinar, but have you heard of any job search engines being attacked by scammers?
I have not yet heard about this, but it wouldn't surprise me, Julie, to be honest. And remember that employment scams and the use of these websites has been one of our most reported scams of the entire year for the last 2 years, employment scams. So that being said, we are going to be on the lookout, and please watch for a press release about this coming soon. We're going to be looking into this, and we're working on getting information out about this specifically.
Thank you. Yeah, I haven't seen anything regarding that, but there are a lot of job search engines out there, and so just I would also recommend checking the URL to make sure that there's no misspellings or anything phony in the job search engine. Would you agree with that, Lisa?
Yeah, that is really good advice, Julie, because, and we see this all the time, not just with job searches, but always really pay attention to that URL. It's easy to, ignore it, but you want to look for a similar website, a similar sounding name, I should say. So, scammers will often have something a little bit off kilter to try to throw you off and to convince you that what you are looking at is legitimate and authentic. And I think we mentioned this in one of the slides before. There was even a fake website involving the CDC. And, somebody sees the letter CDC and automatically thinks that that is the website for the CDC, when in fact it may not be. So yeah, you have to just really pay attention nowadays. Be really vigilant.
Yes. We have another question here from Maureen. Is there a database to check questionable email addresses that have been sent to you to see if they are legit?
That's a great question. Yes, you can. You can first of all do a search. There are a number of different websites that can be used for free. And I most commonly used Whois Lookup, WHOIS space LOOKOUT, Whois Lookout. And it will give you the information on the URL. And that is a great question, because we always encourage people to check URLs, especially if you're ordering from a website. So it's a shopping website. Those are the type of things that not only pop up on a very, very regular basis, but they're popping up now in regard to coronavirus and products that are being sold, especially masks. So you want to check that URL. You want to see when the URL was created. Most likely phony websites are very newly created. In fact, the ones that we are working on now, Susan Bach and I, we are finding that the websites have just been created in March on a couple of the investigations that we're working on. So you want to look for a recent creation date. You also want to look for the registrant's name and contact information. If it's illegitimate, chances are it'll either say private or there won't be any information. Once in a while, the information will be there for a phony website, but you'll notice that the contact information is foreign. You can notice right away that the phone number, has extra digits because it's overseas. Overseas generally start with 011 and then a country code. And then it will also sometimes even state the country. So it'll say, China, or it'll list a city like Shanghai, and then it's foreign and you want to, be very careful. If you lose your money and the company's overseas, there's no getting it back. There's no agency that can help you get it back.
Lisa, could you repeat the Whois Lookout?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I said lookout, didn't I? It's Whois Lookup. It's WHOIS and then lookup, LOOKUP. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I realize now I said lookout instead of look up. But you can also just Google,
Is that
URL
whoislookup.com?
Whois Lookup, yeah, .com.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm sending the link to everyone in the chat, but also it'll be on the recording later on sent to you, and that is whoislookup.com. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Julie.
And John also stated that as he's attending this webinar, they received a recent email regarding mask BOGO, and they didn't click on it. BOGO being buy one, get one.
John, that would be fantastic for you to submit to our BBB scam tracker. We're looking into all of these. So you can just go to bbb.org/scam tracker, and click submit a new scam. And you can also include a copy. You can include an attachment. So you can include a copy of the email you received. I would love to see it. And if you have any problems, please give me a call directly at 414-847-6055 is my direct office number. And I'll give you my email address and you can send it to me directly if you have a problem submitting that to Scam Tracker. Thank you so much.
Elisa, I'm also putting your email address in the chat for everyone to see. Is that all right? There we go. Are there any vendors on Amazon with legit face masks?
That I do not know the answer to. I would assume so, but I've not heard any reports of any that are not. So I don't know. I mean, I would assume that there are, so be very careful. Maybe check with Amazon. That it might be a good idea to Google Amazon and you know, fake vendors or problems. I'm sure that there are probably articles out there, especially if there have been any reports of that.
And I'm going back to the fraudulent health products slide. So again, just checking the, I would also recommend checking the testimonials if you're looking at Amazon for the face mask, making sure that, you know, they aren't all positive and you know, it look like they've been all written by the same person, and taking some time to review before you purchase. And we have one last question from John. So he also gets survey emails as well. Are there any apps to block the spam emails? Within the last week, they've received over 240 spam emails. Do you know of anything that could block these, Lisa?
You know, I don't offhand. I do not offhand. No, I don't. I'm sorry.
That is a great question, John, and we will definitely keep our eyes and ears open. And I have your contact email if we do find anything out further. Thank you for bringing that question to our attention.
Thanks for all the questions, John. Appreciate that.
We got a smile and a thumbs up. Thank you, John. We're at about 5 minutes left. If there's any last minute questions, we can take them now. Otherwise, we'll let Lisa get back to her important investigations. It looks like we're not getting any more questions here. Give it a few more seconds. People are typing. All right. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and thank you especially Lisa. You bring an expertise and knowledge on this subject like no one other. So we thank you, and we also, and Lisa already mentioned that, we also want to thank our 6,500 accredited businesses that keep that ethical and trustworthy component in our marketplace, and we appreciate them and we rely on them, especially during this time. Lisa, is there anything else you want to add before we disconnect?
No, I hope we can do this again. And, you know, I just like to encourage people to continue to let us know what they're seeing and hearing out there. Continue to report to Scam Tracker. Let us know what's going on. And thank you so much. Thanks for the support.
Again, this webinar is recorded and it'll be going out to you directly And so all the links on those last 2 pages and any that were throughout the webinar and the presentation will be sent to you in case you didn't have enough time to write any down. Lots of information, lots of great resources for all of you as consumers and as business owners. So thank you. All right, we will end the webinar here today then. Thank you again for all these great questions, and please watch your inbox for a recording in the next 24 hours of this webinar. Thank you again. Thank you, Lisa. Everyone have a great day and be safe out there.